You clicked on the video thinking, is this guy actually gonna go to every Rainforest Cafe in the country? Technically, that title is a lie. I'm going to every Rainforest Cafe in the country and Canada! The Rainforest Cafe. Home of a lot of weird animatronic animals and monkey noises. The Rainforest Cafe is self-described as a jungle-themed restaurant that was originally created in 1994 at the Mall of America by Steven Schussler. If you know of the Rainforest Cafe, you probably know of it because there was one in your mall near your hometown that has probably since closed. But there are 18 locations left currently in the US and Canada. But you're probably asking yourself, why would I do this? My friend Ted, also a YouTuber, Ted asked me if I would be willing to go on a 3-week road trip to hit every single Rainforest Cafe in the country and Canada. So obviously, my response was, Ted, that is quite possibly the stupidest idea for a trip I have ever heard in my life, and I am in. So it is currently Wednesday, May 25th, 2022, and I am about to embark on the greatest journey of my entire life. I should also mention there are a couple of challenges to this road trip. One, we can only travel depending on when Rainforest Cafes open and close at that specific location. And two, I have only been to a Rainforest Cafe maybe once in my life. And to extra challenge myself, I have not looked at the menu for Rainforest Cafe before starting this trip. So today I will find out what my options are looking like for the next 3 weeks of my life. This is so stupid. This is so stupid. This is so stupid. So the first Rainforest Cafe we thought was in Los Angeles, but it's actually right here in Ontario, California. And just like that, with a group of friends, we were off. And as we got closer, my excitement grew. Walking up to that mall and seeing that beautiful sign with running water. The Rainforest Cafe. Don't zoom out. Don't zoom out, because then you could just see most of it's a blank wall, and they just made a little tiny sign in a big wall. So we got everybody together, we walked in, and there it was, the first Rainforest Cafe out of 18. Oh boy, it was something. Monkeys everywhere. So many, I cannot stress how many vines there are in this restaurant. As we walked in, we noticed these large aquarium pillars that seem to be missing, it's an important aspect of an aquarium. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Oh, fish. Yeah, there's no fish. There's a bunch of bubbles. But as we were seated, there was only one thing on my mind, the menu. I still hadn't seen the menu, and I couldn't have guessed the things I would read next. We started easy with something like the Rainforest Burger. Okay, I understand that. Rasta pasta. All right. And then we get stuff like Iggy's Piggy Sandwich or Mojo Bones. And it really started to hit me that these were some of my only meal options for the next 21 days. Whether I liked it or not, Mojo Bones were on the menu. So we ordered some drinks and had some fun. I got the fried fish tacos. Here they are. They were all right. And as we ate, I did not know that Rainforest Cafe has thunderstorms. Yep, those thunderstorms, I believe, happen every 20 minutes, and I will be at Rainforest Cafe a lot, so I will experience these every 20 minutes, most days. And finally, I made a stop in the bathroom, and I could not have guessed what would happen when I walked through that little King of the Jungle door. A full safari surrounding the urinals and urinal cakes. Birds staring at me pee, watching, judging. I couldn't escape the rainforest even if I tried. I was like Robin Williams in Jumanji. Now, if the only Jumanji you've seen is the one with The Rock and Kevin Hart, I totally understand. It's sort of a similar scenario, but in the Robin Williams one, he's a boy, and his dad owns a shoe factory, and he accidentally gets one of the best workers fired, and then that night he plays Jumanji and gets trapped in the board game in the jungle
for so long that that boy grows into a wild Robin Williams. So that's the reference I'm making if you didn't understand. Anyways, sorry, that was it for day one, and we drove home.
On that drive, I started to mentally prep for the journey that was about to begin. So it's the morning of. It's really starting to hit me that I'm gonna be on the road for 3 weeks. And then I think, like, why am I gonna be on the road for 3 weeks? To go to every Rainforest Cafe in the country. And somebody might say, oh, that sounds fun. 3 weeks of travel on the road with your girlfriend, seeing the whole country. No, not my girlfriend, Ted. So I said my goodbyes to Chrissy, and Ted and I hit the road. 21 days, 18 Rainforest Cafes, and a whole lot of miles. The plan for the day is LA to Phoenix, where we eat at our first Rainforest Cafe. Then we drive a little bit more to Tucson to stay for the night. But on the road, tragedy struck. I like to hydrate, maybe a little too much, and my body wasn't exactly in road trip mode yet. So I had a little bit of an emergency.
So we stopped because I needed to emergency pee, or I was gonna piss myself. In layman's terms, I was gonna piss my little pants like a little baby boy. So we got to the gas station here. They don't have a bathroom. There's a Jack in the Box, luckily for me, right next to it, locked. So I went in that bar and grill.
After almost wetting my pants like a little baby boy, we continued to Phoenix and made it just on time. There it was in the beautiful Phoenix sun, our second Rainforest Cafe. But very quickly, a word from our sponsor, SeatGeek. If you don't already know, SeatGeek is a ticketing app that allows you to buy tickets for major events on your phone. It's an app. How hard is an app to figure out? You buy tickets on your phone. This shouldn't be complicated for you by now. And it is now the summer, so if you're not busy going to every Rainforest Cafe in America and Canada, you can go to all of the concerts that are happening right now. Kendrick's about to be on tour. SeatGeek also wanted me to tell you that they want to make sure you get a good deal. So when you're on the app, look for green dots. Green dots mean good deal. Red means bad. So use code Eddie for $20 off your tickets on SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase using code Eddie. You can click the link in the description below to download the app. Now back to the video. It was again in a mall that looked identical to the one before. The last one was in Ontario Mills, and this was Arizona Mills. A lot of the Rainforest Cafes are in identical malls that are a place and then mills after it. Walked in, still no fish, just a bunch of bubbles again, and we were seated next to 2 elephant animatronics, and they were loud.
It's kind of funny because it's like...
At the Phoenix Rainforest Cafe, everything happens to be loud, including the thunderstorms. I forgot to mention that yesterday there were 4 thunderstorms while we ate. I'm going to keep a total Rainforest Cafe thunderstorm counter just to make sure we don't miss any. So there were 4 yesterday and 3 during this meal. So we're at a total of 7 thunderstorms already. I ordered the Rainforest Burger, and it was a chain burger, like getting a burger at Applebee's. It was about a 5 out of 10. And the fries were actually pretty good. Ted got an appetizer that was a mozzarella flatbread with arugula, and for Rainforest Cafe, this was awesome. If I got this at a nicer restaurant, I would not think so. But for Rainforest Cafe, this is the best thing I've had so far. You know, it was really nice to enjoy a quiet meal at the Rainforest. So we paid and left and made it over to Tucson to sleep for the night, exhausted after a first day. So after the Phoenix Rainforest Cafe, there is not a Rainforest Cafe until Texas, where there are 4. Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, and Galveston. Or Galveston. I don't know how to pronounce your place. So we split the drive up into 2 days, first driving to camp near White Sands National Park in New Mexico. We showed up and got this camping spot. I could not believe how beautiful this place was. It was so cool to camp here. Then the next morning, we headed on a 10-hour drive all the way to Dallas. But first, we stopped at White Sands National Park. Look how pretty it is. Okay, that's enough. But more importantly, we stopped at the world's largest pistachio. Look at how big this nut is. As we moved into Dallas for Rainforest Cafe number 3, I started to become very confused with the quality of Rainforest Cafes in this state. Because getting to Grapevine Mills, yes, it was in another mall similar to the ones before, I was shocked to find that there were people there, and they were enjoying themselves. They also had fish. Something mysterious and possibly illegal was going on here, and I was sure of it. I got a Rainforest Burger again so I could directly compare it to the one in Phoenix. The Phoenix one was just okay, and this one was pretty good? What is going on? The next day, we moved through to San Antonio to eat at a Rainforest Cafe with some friends. And this one was cool? It was on a river walk in the middle of the city? I don't understand. So this Rainforest Cafe is like actually a cool spot to eat. That doesn't really make sense to me. I'm supposed to be in a mall and depressed. I got the turkey club there, and after multiple days of Rainforest Cafe and camping food, it was really good and fresh, and I liked it. No. So our plan of moving through Texas was going great. We were on our way to Houston until the truck started to make this noise. So the next morning, I got some well-needed rest as Ted waited at 8 a.m. in a Midas in Austin, Texas. And in that Midas, they decided to play Saving Private Ryan at full volume. And after the movie, Ted went outside to make a phone call and also update me. And when he came back in, they were playing Saving Private Ryan again. But the car got fixed in a timely manner, and we were on our way to Katy Mills in Katy, Texas, just outside of Houston. Oh, I also forgot to mention that we went to the Alveus Sanctuary. Maya showed us around. This place is so cool. I got to hold a snake. I got to hold a bird. I got to pet an emu. Thank you, Maya, for having us. This was so cool. If you guys want to donate to Alveus, I put the link in the description down below. All right, back to the trip. And after a stressful day of worrying about the truck, I will be honest, this Rainforest Cafe broke me. I was exhausted after 5 days of travel, and this was probably the most depressing Rainforest Cafe we'd been to. Look at the mouth on this elephant. Don't look away, don't skip. Look at it. I got the Creole Mac and Cheese, and while it looks pretty good, it was so rich and filling and creamy that I could only get through a couple of bites, and I felt terrible about wasting this food.
Right now, I am at a low, energy-wise, mental health-wise. This guy's judging me for it. This guy's got his nipples out. I don't even know what this guy's doing.
So we headed back to the hotel, and I was just sad and panicking that I had only gotten 5 days done, and we had so many more to go.
Do I look like I've been on the road too much to you?
So my Katy Mills experience was a bit depressing, but I had no idea what was in store for me tomorrow. Okay, day 6. I'm tiny in this frame. We are about 26 minutes away from Galveston, Texas, which I believe is like an island town and pretty touristy. Ted and I were very excited on the way to Galveston because we had heard that it was the best Rainforest Cafe. But nothing could have prepped me for the absolute gold standard this restaurant was. This Rainforest Cafe was a full waterfall volcano building directly on the beach. And it did in fact have a separate building next to it for a ride. Say goodbye to the boring Rainforest Cafe malls. This palace stood on its own, not connected to a Wetzel's Pretzels or a Lids store where in 2011 they sold so many flat brim caps with superhero logos. And unlike Katy Mills, I was feeling amazing. So I ordered one of their ices in their souvenir cups so I could get a little cup with Cha-Cha the tree frog on top. Ted and I started having the best time of our lives. They had better mozzarella sticks as an appetizer. Everyone in there was happy, and I was happy enough that I ordered the most embarrassing thing to say on the menu, and I did say all of this out loud. Hello, I would like the Iggy's Piggy sandwich, please. Serve it to me in a trough and give me a little pig nose so I can oink while I scarf it down like a hog. The sandwich was pretty damn good. I think there was a little too much meat. Iggy's sandwich was just a tad too much piggy, but other than the turkey club, this is probably the best thing that I've had so far. This has been the highest high of the entire trip. Ted and I were having the best time of our lives.
What the hell? Make the sound. Do it, Elvis. Make it. Yeah!
Leaving Galveston was like saying goodbye to a childhood friend. Ted and I had surely been changed for the rest of our lives from this experience. And after that, we headed for the night to New Orleans and walked around Bourbon Street. We had a great time drinking. Everything about this place was so much fun. Some days on a road trip across the country, you go to the best Rainforest Cafe of your life and you end the night in New Orleans. And some days you drive 8 hours from New Orleans to Gainesville. And that's pretty much all that happens, and it's exhausting. No Rainforest Cafe today, no anything really. But road trip. So, the plan for the day was to skip past the Orlando Rainforest Cafes and go all the way down Florida to Fort Lauderdale. But I can't stress enough, you're seeing a montage of this. I was so exhausted. It was 8 straight days, over 48 hours of driving, with pretty much nothing but sleep, driving, and Rainforest Cafes. It was like a woodpecker on my brain. I was so exhausted at this point. And it didn't help that the Fort Lauderdale Sawgrass Mills Rainforest Cafe was in another mall. Oh my God, it's another boring mall. Fun. I got the Blue Mountain chicken sandwich. It was fine. The chicken was really dry, but when I went to the bathroom, I realized something interesting. I was away from friends and family, but wherever I went, these monkeys were here for me. They weren't just paintings on a wall at a jungle-themed restaurant across malls in America. No, these monkeys were my friends. We'd been through stuff together. They were here for me no matter where I went. These were my pals. These were my boys. So I don't know a lot about the future of this trip, but I do know that my mental health is being held up by these monkeys on the wall. And that's how I know I'm doing fine. Arriving in Orlando was great. I got to see Chrissy again. We all got dinner with Drew and Amanda.
Am I in the shot?
Oh, yeah.
Am I in the shot?
Yeah, get it. Yeah.
Am I in the shot?
Oh, you are totally.
Okay.
Yes.
Was I in the
Delicious.
shot during it?
This dinner was very cursed. Disney Springs was a very cool building. They had a volcano that shot fire. And I was gonna get something healthy, but Drew pointed out on the menu that there was a $40 steak, and that usually isn't on the menu, so I bought a $40 steak at the Rainforest Cafe.
Yeah. And this happens every time? This happens every 20 minutes. Oh, okay.
We also tried a lot of appetizers because we were in a big group. There was a pepperoni flatbread that we were sure was just pizza, and we were correct. Finally, my steak came, and it was actually pretty good. I should note, it was pretty good for what I expected at the Rainforest Cafe. So after a big meal of appetizers and our own entrees, the waiter said, "The next time you see me, I'll have the check." And then he disappeared for 40 minutes. So we sat around hearing thunderstorm after thunderstorm.
How do you feel about number 4 of the night for thunderstorms?
Easily the scariest one so far. The others, I was like, they're not even trying, but this is scary.
I'm shaking in my boots. I bought some boots and I'm shaking in them right now.
Those are really nice.
Yeah.
But you're shaking a lot.
Yeah, they come all the way up to my thigh.
Yeah, I like that.
And we were just very ready to get out of there.
We're going to Disney.
After Disney Springs was the Rainforest Cafe just outside of Animal Kingdom, and they had a breakfast menu, which means I didn't have to eat the normal menu for a day. We got breakfast sandwiches. They were pretty good. Ted got a Bloody Mary at 9 a.m. before we walked around Disney in the sun for the day. And then we just had fun at the park. And did you guys know that the Animal Kingdom park actually turned the Rainforest Cafe animatronics into like real things that walk around? I mean, the money that Disney has to make these animatronics, look, it almost looks like it's eating off a tree. It was a really, really fun day at Disney, and afterwards, Chrissy and I got to go get some sushi, walk around the boardwalk, and I thought, man, this is such a great end to the trip. I had driven so much, we had accomplished a lot, and I just was ready to go home. Sorry? We're only about halfway through? But no, that can't, you must have miscounted. That there can't be more. That's too many. I'm already so fucking exhausted of this Rainforest Cafe, the safari fries. I can't eat a fucking another one. Let me just, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's, oh shit. No, oh god. No, don't make me keep going. Please don't make me keep going, please.
Okay, Ted is in the shower. We have a big drive today. We are headed to the Nashville Rainforest Cafe. That's number 11. We got 2 days of driving left till we're in New York City. And then we start the final stretch across the country. Once we start that final stretch, I'll feel maybe like I'm, headed home and not trapped doing the dumbest idea of all time. Because I don't know if you watched to this point and been thinking, this is a pretty smart idea. But actually, when you're in it, and it's 3 weeks of your life and you miss your girlfriend and you miss your apartment and your bed and your life, it starts to become, what's the word? Stupid, fucking, dumb, idiot, Dumbo idea. So on to Nashville.
I misspoke in the last clip. This is the 10th Rainforest Cafe, so set me back 1 on the progress bar. I was very low energy. It's the 10th Rainforest Cafe in 12 days, and also 11 a.m. However, Ted was not exactly where I was energy-wise.
Oh, fuck. Oh my God. Oh my goodness gravy. Oh my goodness. Hot dog. Hot diggity dog.
Do you guys think that maybe I could ask the Rainforest Cafe people to dunk Ted headfirst in the tank and leave him there? Orty Mills was another Mills Rainforest Cafe. The mall looked near identical on the inside from like 8 other malls we had been to. I lost count. I don't even know where I am anymore. We had about a couple of minutes to kill, so we went into this Nashville store and tried some hats on.
Wow.
Howdy, darling.
So I got the Turkey Club, which I know is a bit boring to get it again, but I feel like death today from so many Rainforest Cafes, so sandwich.
And my Turkey Club was fine. But before we left, I had something very important to do.
Told me I've been cheating on her.
You flirt with that thing? Ma'am, do you flirt with that thing? I don't mean to be crass, but can I see your mud flaps?
Today, Ted and I have our sights on yet another Rainforest Cafe. I got to see this cat at the gas station. However, as you can see, I clearly caught this cat trying to park in a handicap spot. I got this on camera. I would like to press charges against this cat, or at least give him a violation. So we were on our way to Atlantic City, and something really, really bad happened. As we were driving, we passed over, I wouldn't describe it as a highway bump. You know those bits of the highway where there's a little bit of a guardrail and the pavement goes up like a tiny little bit and then goes back down. We went over it in the truck, and immediately the truck bounced like fucking crazy. Ted suggested we pull over. We pulled over to a service station in the middle of Delaware, and as Ted looked at the truck, he realized that the entire body of the truck was tilted to the left. This does not look good. Now, I don't know a lot about cars or trucks, so as we went back into the welcome center to call AAA, we were both unsure if this was the end of the trip.
Yeah, basically going over, I'm on a road trip right now. I was driving my truck and we went over a bump in the road, and I'm 90% sure, based on visually looking at it, that the front left shock like snapped.
So we had to cancel our reservations in Atlantic City and stay the night in Newark, Delaware.
So the tow company told Ted that they can only fit one person in a tow truck. So I'm gonna Uber. I'm out in the rain, but I'm trying to stay dry. As Ted is over there with the Tacoma as it gets loaded onto a tow truck.
We're getting the car towed.
And now we're splitting up and we're gonna meet at the hotel. Feels a bit weird, but just bye. I'll see you in a bit.
Yeah, bye, I guess. See you later.
So there's only one seat in there. I can't go with Ted, but it feels weird to just like abandon him with the tow truck and go back to the hotel by myself. This is so stupid. This whole idea is so dumb, and you hear the idea and you're like, oh, that'd be so funny. That'd be so funny if we went on this trip. And then you're on day 13 and you're in the rain and the truck breaks down and you don't know what you're gonna do. I have all my bags sitting here and I will be heading to the nearest hotel. I need to call an Uber or else I'm gonna be trapped at the Biden Welcome Center for the rest of my life. I don't feel very welcome, Joe. Delaware has not been welcoming so far, Joe.
The estimate we got for fixing the truck was maybe around 2 days, which was not an option for us. Miraculously, the truck got fixed that afternoon, which was great, but the opposite of a miracle was us having to hit 2 Rainforest Cafes in one day, 2 days in a row. So we quickly booked it to Atlantic City. We had mozzarella sticks and they were fine. All the food is fine at the Rainforest Cafe. It's all just okay. We then drove all the way up to Edison, New Jersey, to the saddest Rainforest Cafe I've ever seen. The employees at other Rainforest Cafes said this is the worst one, and you can tell by the sign outside and the mall that it's in. Luckily, we were joined by Jakey and Fritz. I ordered a steak at the worst Rainforest Cafe because I thought it would be funny, and my steak was tiny. Here's my hand for scale, and it was also super dry.
Shout out Wayne Gretzky. The last little tear said everything, dude.
We went back to New York with Jakey and Fritz and had a great time, but got barely any sleep before we had to book it to the Niagara Falls Buffalo Rainforest Cafe. There we had a spinach dip, and it was one of the better things we had, but I'm so tired of being here. But at least Ted and I were done for the day and could... Wait, there's another one in Canada across the bridge? That's the Canada one? There's 2 at Niagara Falls? I have to eat another one today? Oh God, we gotta go to Canada now?
We were just denied entry into Canada because we did not have the proper information filled out. It was our fault, but we did it. And now we're doing round 2, baby. Round two.
My sanity is hanging on just by a thread. So lucky for me, the Canada Rainforest Cafe at Niagara Falls was pretty good. Apparently it is the only privately owned rainforest cafe, and they had a shark in their tank. Ted and I had front row seats to these gorillas. And I got a plate of salmon that was by far the best thing that I've had at the Rainforest Cafe. This feels weird coming out of my mouth, but it was a good meal. This salmon was really, really good. It wasn't burnt. They wanted to stress that it wasn't burnt. That was the glaze on the side. But this is by far the #1 thing that I've had, and I don't think anything will top this. So Rainforest Cafe, you did it. You made one good plate of food that I consider to be better than Rainforest Cafe quality. Will I give it to the Rainforest Cafe company? No, because this one is privately owned. So yeah, this really, the credit goes to, I guess, this one restaurant. This is where I started to feel like I was living in Groundhog Day. We drove through more of Canada. We woke up. We drove into Michigan, ate at a Rainforest Cafe. We drove some more. We stayed at my mom's place in Chicago, but had to immediately leave to go to a Rainforest Cafe in Gurnee, Illinois. Oh my God, I have to go to another one. Luckily, we were joined by my good friend, Danny Gonzalez, and I was very happy to see him, even though I was not very happy to be back at another Rainforest Cafe already.
You buy me a souvenir?
Yeah, do you want to get one maybe that says
that
want
says
this
Danny?
one.
You want
I want
the?
this one.
I bet there's one that says Danny if you want.
They all
Okay.
say Megan.
Sorry, did you say they all say
They all
Megan?
say Megan, and that's what I want.
Ted and Danny were having a pretty good time. I listen, I can't do this anymore. I'm so tired of this fucking menu. I got the Korean spicy stir fry. It was okay. The rice was really hard. The chicken was dry. There was way too much sauce at the bottom. And when I went to the bathroom, there were animals there, but my monkey friends weren't there. My monkeys weren't in the bathroom. Do you understand why that's a problem? Look at them. They know I'm having a bad time. They're watching me and laughing. They think I'm a joke. Ted and Danny were having a blast. I can understand it for Danny. This is his first Rainforest Cafe. Ted, however, how is he enjoying this? This is number 16. So then we said bye to Danny. It was really good seeing him and headed for another Rainforest Cafe. The next Rainforest Cafe at Mall of America is the original Rainforest Cafe, the reason for all of this. And after driving 5 more hours, we finally arrived at the original source of the Rainforest Cafe. This was my final boss, because every Rainforest Cafe that has ticked a full year off my life has been located in a mall. And not only is this the original place, it's the biggest mall there is in America. This fucking Rainforest Cafe stood for everything that was standing in my way from going home. We came up on the sign again, and look at them. They're laughing at me. Maya, Iggy, Bamba, Cha-Cha, Rio, and Niall. They knew I was forced to eat this damn menu again. Stuff my face with safari fries. To have these fucking mozzarella sticks again because Ted ordered them for the billionth time. And speaking of Ted, look at him. Look at him enjoying himself. This is the 17th Rainforest Cafe out of 18. How is he not losing his fucking mind? All I can hear is the rainforest. I can hear the elephants when I go to sleep. When I close my eyes, I see them. I see them laughing at me. I can't do another Rainforest Cafe. I just can't fucking do it.
Okay, so maybe I got a little carried away yesterday. Rainforest was kind of getting to my head a little bit there, sorry. But I am happy to say that there is only one Rainforest Cafe left that I will ever have to go to again. But it's all the way in Vegas, so Ted and I made the trip across the country. We saw the Jolly Green Giant, who was very giant himself, but didn't have his own Jolly Green Giant, if you know what I'm saying. The man's, he's got no cock and balls. We then drove through Nebraska, through the Rocky Mountains, which was beautiful. We then camped in the desert near Arches National Park, and on the next day, I woke up in the best mood of my life. Today was the final day that I would have to go eat at a Rainforest Cafe, and I even had the pleasure of meeting one of my heroes at the gas station. Hi, Lightning. I'm a big fan. So as we arrived to Vegas, I was on top of the world. We got into an Uber and headed for the final Rainforest Cafe. Ted and I decided to celebrate by finally getting the most famous item on the menu, the Volcano Cake. Watching it arrive to the table was as joyous as I could only assume looking at your child for the first time is. So I got a spoonful ready, and as it hit my mouth, it was very sweet. It was super sweet. But I didn't care, because as I was finishing up, I realized that I was done. It was over. And the only thing left to do was say goodbye to all my pals. Goodbye, Gorilla. Goodbye, Bird. Goodbye, Tracy Tree. Goodbye, Gorilla. Goodbye, Monkey. Goodbye, Gorilla. Goodbye, Gorilla. Stepping out into the super hot Vegas air was one of the best feelings I've ever felt in my life. 3 whole weeks, 18 Rainforest Cafes checked off the list. Ted and I had done the impossible, and I'm assuming we set a world record, but I don't know if there's a record that they were measuring for this, but I'm pretty sure we're the first to do this. So we had an incredible night in Vegas.
We ended that night with a quiet moment in front of the Bellagio fountain, reflecting on the journey we'd been on. And finally, after 21 days, it was time to go home.
Home sweet home. Oh, shit. So, I am now back from my journey across the country. And to be honest, even though this bit was very dumb, I'm really proud of what me and Ted have done over the last 3 weeks. We got to travel the country and see so many amazing parts of it, meet a lot of really cool new people, see family and friends. But I think at the heart of all of it, the big thing that shines through is the Rainforest Cafe. Not only is the ambiance of every restaurant incredible, but really what it's all about is the food. The Iggy's Piggy sandwich, the Mojo Bones, the Creole Mac and Cheese. It nourished me on the road trip in ways that I could only describe as food or in my stomach. So I have to thank you, Rainforest Cafe, for being such a friend to me during this trip across the country. Because really, you were the best part of all of it. And on that note, I should say that I'm lying. Oh my God, I will never step foot in a Rainforest Cafe ever again if I have to see one of those animatronics or eat a safari fry again. The safari fries, they're just fries. You can't just put safari in front of something and make it a new food. It's just a fry.